Hello everyone and welcome back to Design Draw Do. My name is Noor, graphic designer, artist and passionate about spreading the value of creativity, and I'm back with another YouTube video. I've been kind of lazy this weekend. I really just didn't want to upload anything. I didn't feel like it and I really pushed this till the last minute, but anyways, here we are. Hopefully this will be uploaded. Today I wanted to share a few lessons that I learned from reading and studying this book called Rembrandt's Light, there we go, by Jennifer Scott and Helen Hilliard. Not gonna lie, I didn't read all of it, but I kind of skimmed through it. I looked through the paintings, I kind of got a better idea about Rembrandt and his use of lighting in his work. And I really just studied his paintings more in depth. I kind of did sketches and things, which was really nice. So the book actually talks about lighting, and I wanted to dive deeper into this, primarily lighting and shading, because obviously you can't get one without the other. So he used both pencil sketches and etchings, which if you look at it, it's kind of like pen sketches. So I thought it would be interesting if I tried to make a sketch one in pencil and one in pen. So I decided to do the same drawing so that, there would be a fair comparison. Also, people enjoyed the urban sketching video, so I thought it would just be easier for me to make rather than trying to think of some fancy concept to do for this week's YouTube video. So let's jump in. Oh, I also really like the book The Arrival by Sean Tan, which I would highly urge you to check out. It's a picture book. It's completely kind of pencil sketches, and I think it's also digitally enhanced, but you should definitely check it out. It also really inspired me for this video. For this sketch, I'm using a 4B Faber-Castell pencil, and for the pen sketch, I'm using a 0.05 Uniball pen, but you can pretty much use anything you have. You don't need to go out and buy fancy supplies to get started with art. For this drawing, I chose a place in Manchester in the Northern Quarter because I was missing Manchester. So I just chose this cool looking building. And to be honest, I realized, ironically, how much I hate drawing architecture, especially architecture which is super repetitive, which is, most architecture. I just really hate drawing rows and rows of windows, or trying to draw things within a grid and make it look proportional and correct. I actually studied architecture, so that's kind of funny, but yeah, I just really hate drawing architecture. So to be honest, I didn't have as much fun as I should have had drawing this, but it was still a good experience, I think. Alright, so we are jumping right into the pencil sketch, which I drew first, and the first tip that I have is don't be afraid to color darker. I feel like, especially when you're starting out, you kind of just, you sketch really lightly, and even to this day, I've been drawing for a few years now, but I still draw quite lightly. I feel like I'm quite scared of, putting dark marks on the page, but that's not something you should be scared of. You kind of have to build up the color, which is actually my second point. When you have to build up the color. So if you want the greatest contrast, and I talk about contrast a lot on this channel, but that's really what makes your drawings pop, and it's what makes them look impressive. So you kind of have to build the color on top of each other. So with this pencil sketch, I'm kind of building the shading on top of each other as I draw more pencil lines over each other, and that kind of is the same for pen as well. The third tip I have is that there's no such thing as a wrong line. I think also when you're a beginner, you're kind of really scared of drawing lines, which is kind of ironic because you're trying to make a drawing, so you shouldn't be scared of putting down a line. I think we're just scared that, I draw something and then, it's not in the right place, I'm gonna erase it. You'll notice in this sketch, I don't have an eraser with me. I don't actually believe in having an eraser. That sounds quite, but it's true. I feel like when you have an eraser, it's kind of like Control-Z in digital art. It's going to kind of strip you of your artistic power, and it also, in a way, it hinders you because you can't learn from your mistakes because you keep erasing them. So I would highly suggest that you don't have an eraser with you when you're drawing, even if it's in pencil, and don't be afraid of making a line and realizing, oh, this is not the line I was supposed to draw, because when I was doing the drawing, I realized from the first line onwards, I was like, oh, I shouldn't have put this line where it was. But you can see later on in the drawing, you can't even tell that there is a quote-unquote wrong line, you know? So you can always cover up this this supposedly wrong line later on, so don't worry about it. My fourth tip actually concerns pen sketches only. I feel like if you're going to use a pen sketch, don't start with a pencil sketch. I think if you really want to build up your confidence, then go straight in with the pen sketch, and this way you can't erase it either unless you have one of those erasable pens, but on the whole, for the most part, I feel like most people won't have that pen. So using pen straight away kind of gives you the confidence to just keep going because you can't go back. The next tip I have is don't be afraid to make your lines wavy. I think people, again, tend to think that you need to have super straight lines and it all needs to look, perfect. You know what? The best sketches look imperfect. And if you look at even master paintings and things, they are not perfect, I guess I'm kind of a fan or a follower of the Impressionist movement, which is a very loose, abstract, comparatively loose and abstract style. So in the same way, I kind of follow that outlook for drawings, where I think in architecture as well, there's kind of a thing where you should make your lines wavy because you can't draw a straight line perfectly every time. And even if you do it, it's a bit boring, like when you're doing wavy lines, it makes the drawing a bit more organic and more hand-drawn, and I think there's more of a charm or an appeal towards that. Alright, those were some of the tips that I had, and I will just speed up the rest of this and meet you at the end. Alright, and now we've reached the end of these two sketches, and I think kind of what you can see from the comparison of the two sketches is that the pencil sketch is obviously a lot softer. It has more of a almost dreamlike quality. It's less precise. Obviously, I had a much thicker lead. 4B is quite a thick lead compared to a 0.05 pen, so maybe it wasn't such a fair comparison. But nonetheless, the pencil sketch is a bit more smudged and faded, and you can see like where my hand accidentally kept smudging the sketch. And on the other hand, you have the pen drawing, which is a lot more, I guess you could say precise, just because the lines are more defined and you can't smudge them, obviously, or at least you can't smudge this type of pen. It's a bit more, how do I say, accurate? Not accurate, but the lines are more precise. Yeah, that's what I would say. They're more precise, so it's more kind of, I guess it's more suited for a clearer image or a more accurate image. I hope you found this video useful on shading and sketching, and just seeing my process was relatively interesting. And with that, I hope to see you next week for another video. Bye!